Hey, Chris here. So I decided to do the air filters, or at least double check them on my new slash used 2017 Jaguar F-Type V6 Premium. I kind of already got started. Most of this I shouldn't have to show you. I'm assuming you already know how to do your basic stuff. But if you're somebody who's new going into this, obviously watch other videos and things, but the first thing you want to do is get under your car. This particular model can just barely fit a jack right under here, and the part to put it at is right where there's this little triangle. That's the marker on all these other sides of the vehicle, on the other side as well. I'm using this as just a safety precaution, this jack stand, but I have about, I would say, 2/3 of the weight on this right now because the car's very low, but you can get all this without having to jack it all the way up. You just have to be able to get it underneath. So you will have to remove, unfortunately, all of this covering on the bottom, which includes these little plastic pieces. You will notice that they hang down right here, and as you start taking them off, then there's a next, then after that you get the smaller pieces, which is the one behind there, and you're gonna get a whole bunch of these little screws. I used a drill to just turbo them out, but I will be setting my drill very low torque so it doesn't over tighten on the way back in, and then I'll hand tighten after. Then after you do that, you will start taking off this piece right here, which is the bottom splash guard, and you will find a ridiculous amount of these. So these are sort of like a star with they have a Phillips, or I'm sorry, a flathead option. But I would use that only if you had problems or you stripped it out. I ended up using this little torque right here, which the sizing is it says T27. So that's what fit on that. And then for the 10mm here was for the bigger bolts that were holding this on towards the front. And then you will have a 8mm for the small ones that you pull out a whole bunch of after that. So you will see these little tiny ones like this, and then you will have this bigger one here, which is going to go for these non-black, or whatever you want to call them, I guess just metal color ones here. So those are like the last four. So those are really the only parts you're gonna need, or bits you're gonna really need. You're just gonna need a couple of different ways of getting into the tighter spots. This will help take off some other parts as well. I just use that. And then of course the airbox itself has these little Phillips, which again, you wanna be careful taking these off. I just used this JIS screwdriver. I recommend these for pretty much anything, and that's what got it off. So here is the right hand side. This was to loosen the clamp, the hose clamp that goes on here, and this box comes out. It kind of hangs on these little pieces here, so once you take it out, you kind of have to push it up and out like that, and it kind of like, and then falls off. And then you have your filter inside, which is one of these funny shaped triangles. Make sure you match up the right ones. Do one side at a time. It'll tell you right hand and left hand. It's actually two different part numbers for these. The one that's inside right now is actually very clean, so I'm not going to really replace these. But to give you guys a better look, that is the MANN filter, I guess, 220, 221. And it's funny because I bought some, and I have over here that says C36009, so there's probably another number. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, there's the actual number right there, 009. So I got the right ones. But I mean, look how clean these are. I mean, there's like nothing in here. So I'm not gonna even bother changing that. I just tapped out whatever dust or whatever is in there. I'm gonna put these back in. Another thing I want you to notice, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn my light on here. When you're under the vehicle, make sure you do wear these as you're taking stuff apart. You do not want to get any of that crud from the street in your eye. It's not good. But as you get under the vehicle, on the right hand side, you'll notice there's another element up here. Do not damage this element. Do not remove this element. It tells you specifically, non-serviceable part, do not remove. My guess is that's just like a sort of a finer particulate, I use this right hand here, has a part number on it in case anyone's interested. But again, it says non-serviceable. So I would not remove that. It doesn't look like it would need to be. I mean, unless you just completely neglected your air filter, there would be no reason to remove that. So as I took this off, I was just looking, and there's like some wires that kind of go real close to this. So you want to be careful you don't sever any of those or yank any of those out. But that's pretty much it. And you're going to do the same for the other side. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's a lot of extra work than your typical car due to the supercharger. But you got one of these on each side. I guess what I should have done is try to find K&N ones and just paid the money in case I ever do have to change out the actual filter element. But for now, I'm just not going to worry about it. I've got this one looks pretty clean, so I'm assuming the other one's pretty clean. So I'll revisit this probably in 15,000 miles or something like that. But anyway, that's it. That's all you got to do. You just got to take that off. And then, of course, here's the duct. Here's the little padding, kind of the soundproofing material. There's a lot of soundproofing. A lot of this plastic stuff has like a coating on it, soft coating. So, which I think is pretty cool. But this feels like it's got like a tubing that kind of runs way up in here. A lot of crap falls out into your face while you're doing this. So try not to get any in your eye. But that's it. That's all you got to do. Here's how I have the car right now. I was actually able to get to both sides. I'm just going to pull this one here. Just check the inside of that one, and that's about it. And while you're under there, just look for anything that looks weird. Oil, crud, stuff like that. But not much else to do. All right, that's it.